Hey, I'm Rod from Kingdom Animal Shelter. I'm here to show you how our new facility is coming along. We're expecting this will probably be opening sometime in November to the public. We're at 1161 Portland Street, right next to West Ward Auto on Route 2 east of St. Johnsbury, near Maple Grove. Let me show you a few of the things that I showed you at the last video at the old shelter that seemed to be issues for us. And first thing, of course, was space. Here we have a lot more space. We're able to tend to our animals better and able to do a better job with better equipment and different things that we'll be able to have space for here. On our right, we have the entry area, which I'd showed in the past video, where the outside door was directly to go outside, where cats and kittens had to be watched all the time, and the door had to be locked to be sure that someone didn't come in to look at cats and see the cat go out the door, because so I would have to watch this all the time along with others. If you're out back doing laundry, here you don't have this. You have the two-door system with the vestibule. That's when they come in, you've got a good chance of getting a cat or kitten before it gets out the door. This part of the shelter, we have a new addition that we did not have at the old shelter, and these are called colony rooms. We have these, they're not fully done. There will be some furniture in the spaces for the cats, and there will also be catwalks where they can get up and run around back and forth. So we got one here, one there, and one down at the end of the hall there that's going to be for what they call a cat colony room. What this means is that cats that get along with each other will be able to be in these rooms, maybe a mom and some kittens. Maybe after a while, when cats come in, you can pretty quickly tell whether or not they're going to be social cats, whether they're going to want to be with others. And remember, they'll be in there overnight too, whether it be unattended. So you want to be sure that these cats do get along. And so we'll have these three spaces for this. And this is a great improvement over our current shelter, where we just had the small small areas that we had the cats in, and here we had this great space that we can use for this purpose. So this is what we call our castle room. It's a kingdom for our cats, and this is their castles. And this is the replacement of the condos, what we were calling condos, which are basically kennels that are at the current shelter that you recall from the last video. Here you have much more space for the cats. They're able to move up and down vertically, which is important to a cat, instead of being confined in that space that we'd had there. Here we have this, they can go floor to ceiling here in this space, and we're going to have shelving in there so that they can move around. We've made it easy to clean. We have a nice vinyl floor that's been installed, and so that the cats will have much greater access also to each other. If the cats get along well, there are little doors that open from room to room, so you can make even greater space for cats that we know get along with each other. So this is the area where we do all the staging for things that come in throughout the shelter that need cleaning. And so this will be where the washer is, and the dryer will be here, and this will be a folding table. We'll have this will be in a separate room, whereas before, as you recall from the video, this was right out in the regular area where cats were. And this will now be separate by itself. It will be a good improvement to have this more organized and much more space to do this important function of sanitizing and keeping things clean for the shelter. When the cats get fed in the morning and again in the afternoon, there is, of course, dirty litter pans and dirty dishes that need to be cleaned, and this is where this will come in. There will also be a dishwasher that we can use for the cat bowls and dishes. This is the area where the litter pans can be cleaned, and this will be so much better than the current shelter. We're going to end up having a sprayer on here so that you can really clean the pans out well. So this is going to be our med room, or a room where we can feed the cats also, will be done in this room. So the clean dishes will then come out of the first room I showed you, come in here, and you'll be able to feed the cats. The medications will be in this room, and everything then will be completed to go out onto the floor to the cats. This is a great counter space that we've just had put in for that purpose. And on the other side, we'll have a sink and spaces for the medications, just to make it more efficient and a better use. The other thing that we want to mention is we'll have computers throughout these spaces so that you'll be able to look here and say, Felix needs such and such food, and you won't have to run to the other side of the building. Or if you're on the other side of the building, then you can look in that computer and you'll see that what Felix needs to have to eat. So this is our intake room. This is what cats, when they first come in, they'll come in on a side door instead of through the general population. They'll come into this room, and when they first come here, after having been at the vets, they would then go into this room to be separated from the rest of the cats for 5 days. And then we'll keep, observe them, or you just want to do things like make sure they don't have fleas or things they might bring out to the rest of the cats. And in a place like this, if you get fleas going in throughout it's very expensive to control a problem like that. When you have to give each cat Revolution, it's very expensive. So this will help eliminate that sort of a problem. Then we also have this separate room here. This is an ISO room, or isolation room, and this is for in-house cats that were sick. So if you see a cat that's acting lethargic, or you think the cat needs some private, quiet time by itself, then this room will be available for that purpose. This main room here, when cats first come in, we're also going to be able to do a little bit more of our own lab work here. We'll be able to do things like check for worms in the feces. We'll be able to do more in the way of distemper shots and that type of thing that will save us money and time transporting cats to the vet all the time. So here we are in our new conference room. This is a space where we'll be able to have meetings for our board and for other groups that might come in to tour the shelter. Currently, we've had to have meetings off-premise because we've had not enough space to have meetings in the shelter. So this will be a great improvement for us. I'd like to mention a few of the cats you might have seen in the previous video that have been adopted. You might remember a Sussex, and then the 3 black kittens also that were in the playroom. Pink went home, as well as some of the other kittens and cats that you might have seen. We appreciate those that have adopted from us and hope that you'll continue to do so, or come and see our new cats in the shelter when we reopen, probably about mid-November. We want to have some time to let the cats acclimate before we open. I'd like to thank some of our donors that made this possible. We have donors, both large and small, that have made this, and local businesses that have been very generous with us, that have made this possible. If you'd also like to consider a donation, or if you'd like to volunteer, you can go to our website for more information, which is kingdomanimalshelter.com.